Okay, y'all know I'm building a muzzleloader behind the scenes. I got this lock in, and it's a Siler lock, and it's got a problem very common to Siler locks. You see the frizzen spring here? How it swoops up in a gentle arc. It's supposed to be straight, but because it swoops up in that gentle arc, see that? It doesn't kick this anywhere near forward enough. That and the spring is super stiff, so today we're going to work on fixing this spring and lightening it up. And we can start by taking our spring vise and lining it up correctly. Putting tension on the spring. Frizzen's loose. And take out our screw. That aside, pull our spring off. And loosen the spring vise. Here you can really see that swoop I was talking about. It's supposed to be straight. So I'll be using my gas forge to heat this part up, but you can use propane torch or a MAP gas torch just as effectively on a part small as this. It's got a little kick up at the end. I'll fiddle with that, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, we've got our lock and our still hot frizzen spring in here. I'm gonna drop that in, and just providing a little bit of tension right now. You can see I can't fully see the screw hole in there, but we are going to open this up a little bit. I've just got a cold chisel here, a smaller cold chisel. Stick that in here, pry it a little bit. There we go, I think that'll do us. I like that. Now we will harden and temper it. Here I've got a jug of peanut oil, and we're going to hold this by the little decorative finial on here. I do believe that's what they were there for. Hold on to it with your tongs so you can push the whole spring evenly. Hardened spring. See how some of that darkness popped off? That's a good indicator that it hardened. We've got our spring in this cloth here. Just getting the peanut oil off of it. So that way we can take some sandpaper and clean up the surface. Doesn't have to be perfect, just enough so you can watch these colors run. There we go. Okay, we got our spring, got our torch. You don't have to use a torch, use propane forge, whatever you have. I also have a bowl of water sitting right here to arrest the temper when it gets to where we want, and where we want it is a purple or a blue, more into the blues. See, I'm playing the flame around. I'm not holding it in one spot. Now if one spot starts to get too dark, if I remember right, your colors go straw, bronze, brown, kind of a peacocky, which is like a brown, blue, purple mix, and then your purples, a dark blue, and then a light blue. We want to go no further than a dark blue. Now if one side or one spot starts to get too much temper, dunk that section in the water and that'll stop it right there. Okay, let me tell you, we're starting to get some straw color in this. There we go, you can really start to see it now. You notice how I'm hitting it and then I'm letting it rest. Okay, we're starting to get some purple on that little corner right there. I'm getting really bronzy on the bottom where I'm hitting it the most, where it's the thickest. It's turning peacock now. Okay, we're getting some purples. Okay, we're starting to get some blue. That's right where we want it. Make sure to dry off your part very thoroughly and then protect it from rust with a light coat of oil. This is just the automatic transmission fluid that I use to oil the blower from my forge. Get it on the outside, don't neglect the inside. There we go. I'm going to put this back in our spring vise, and we are not going to just crank down on this. Newly tempered springs need to be broken in with repeated flexing. I'm going to give it half a crank and back off, half a crank, back off. We're just going to keep working this in. Okay, I think we're where we need to be now. Just drop this back into the lock. Oh yes, much easier. Now let's see if it does its job. not quite. It's a little rough. So I'm just gonna polish that down. And we should have a well-tuned lock. It's a 400 grit belt for my belt sander. It's just around a piece of 2x4. I clamped in the vise. And this is how I'm going to polish up that face. Spring's polished, and while I got it apart, I'm going to take the frizzen, this little bearing surface down here. I'm just going to polish that up just by taking it this way and stroking this way. Okay, I've got the frizzen back in the rifle. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of oil on that bearing surface of the frizzen. What that's going to do is tell us where on that spring it is all contacting. This is important because you want to even drag all the way across your spring. The more of a pressure point it has, the harder it's going to be for the frizzen to do its job. You got that installed. Work it a few times. It'll also tell you exactly where on the spring you need to polish. And it'll tell you where you need to polish on your frizzen. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but I got good transfer all the way across that face. So I'm gonna clean the oil off of that, clean the oil off of this, the excess oil I should say. And reassemble this guy. Check for function. Hey! We did it. Now I want to play, mostly from my knowledge, and I'm sure you will glean something from it too. I'm going to do this a couple times in super slow-mo.